Trapmore Gang, I know some people don't like to admit it, but probably one of the most dangerous and the most gangster cities in North America isn't even inside the United States. You know I'm talking about Toronto, okay? We've been talking endlessly on this channel about various Toronto demons that be getting in and out of trouble here and there. You know some of the people I'm talking about, but today I want to talk about and I want to give flowers to one of the most incredible and legendary artists to ever come out of the Toronto street rap scene, and that's my guy. All right, that's my guy, Pressa. Big Press Machine, okay? He's just dropped his new project, Press Machine 2, okay? This is a very prestigious series of projects, excuse the pun, okay? But this is Press Machine Part 2, all right? This is a very, very important project, and I can't lie to you. Put some respect on Pressa's name, okay? The amount of people that don't be putting respect on Pressa's name when this is somebody who put the city on his back, okay? He been doing big things for Toronto and he really got it out the mud. Like, if you don't know the guy's backstory, I'm about to put you on because this man has come from some of the most treacherous backgrounds that the entire world, let alone America, let alone North America, bruh. He done really got it out the mud in Toronto, bro. So I want to trace all the way back to the humble beginnings of Pressa, the deadly gang wars that this man has survived. And I'm not going to lie, okay? Shout out to Pressa, that's my man. He said, yo, we need to get people talking about my album. I said, look, I'm going to do my thing, but don't get mad at me because I'm going to need to talk about all the crazy street stuff. And Pressa, if you watch this video, you're going to see some stuff in this video. You might be like, God, how the hell does he know that? Okay, but I done gone to town because I really wanted to just I wanted to recap and celebrate this project and just go hard, okay, for Toronto because I'm a huge Toronto drill rap fan, all right? So look, if you know Pressa's history, all right, he's been in the game for a minute. This is a DJ Vlad interview that he did 8 years ago. How's this? Okay, don't worry about the date, right? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like, this guy been relevant for so long, bro. It's actually crazy. I shout out to my guy. But anyway, okay, this is Pressa all the way back then, breaking it down to DJ Vlad and basically explaining, like, some of the important backstory as to how tough he came up, okay? He explained back in the day in this interview that his father was already behind bars on a murder case by the time that he was born. Like, this is a man who really didn't have a chance at life, okay? The streets was a knock-in before he was even out the womb. This is the foundations that my guy was dealing with.
So your dad gets into, I guess, an altercation with a security guard?
Yeah.
And something happened and the security guard ended up getting killed?
Yeah.
Your dad got 15 years?
Yeah, 15 to life.
Oh, 15 to life?
Yeah.
Okay, so currently, is he still locked up or no?
Yeah, he's still locked up. He came out on probation for I don't know, I can't remember, probably just under a year or maybe. And then he got violated for his parole, so he's still in there now. He's going on his holy, I can't remember, his 21st year now. He's been in jail since I was born, you know?
Okay, so.
He been in jail since he was born, right? That's just that's insane, okay? Now, even though his pops was behind bars, okay? Pressa would basically explain to Vlad that his father taught him how to make and save money, unfortunately, sometimes through unethical means, all right? Basically, you can read between the lines, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to talk too much, but to get it out the mud, basically. And he had to find the ways that he had to do what he had to do to survive. He had to find ways maybe outside the confines of, you know what I'm saying, the rules that everybody else plays by to get it out the mud and make it happen for himself.
Learned a lot from my father, you know? Learned how to save money, how to make money and stuff, you know? When we were young, my dad would always have us wanted to do the smarter way of things and not going to jail, my brother and stuff. He would we would have winter tires. He's 16, he just bought his Cavalier and he has winter tires, but he has to go buy them. And then my dad would say, fuck all that, man, just go grab the jack, go to a garage, go find the Cavalier, jack that up, take off that wheel, put back your one, just put the winter tires on your car, then go and get another tire from somewhere else, and then you save yourself $500, you know?
It's thrifty as, I ain't gonna lie, it's thrifty as hell. You know what I'm saying? You just grab one wheel here, one wheel there, and to be fair to him, respectable. He a respectable gangster, okay? He putting a wheel back. He at least giving you a dusty old wheel to at least keep your shit moving. Now, clearly, Pressa's father embedded that hustler mentality on not just him, but also his brother Boondog, okay? If you know about Boondog, all right, if you know the Toronto culture, the Toronto streets, Toronto rap, Boondog, he very low key. He be wearing the mask, right? He be wearing the mask like it's still 2020. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to catch no coughs or sneezes out here. I ain't never seen somebody with better cars than Boondog. I ain't gonna lie to you. He be Ferrari trucked out. He had the Ferrari truck before I even knew they made the Ferrari truck. Look, he got the Ferrari truck. It's got the song Rari truck. This guy really got it out of the mud. Okay, so that hustler. I ain't gonna lie. I doubt Boondog would be stealing the snow tires and the Ferrari truck tires or further. If your Ferrari truck, you popped out of the villa and your Ferrari truck is missing a wheel, you might have to go and look at Boondog. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Call it what it is, bro. But you know what I'm saying? If my Ferrari truck's missed a wheel, Boondog's the first person I'm gonna be looking at. But basically, Boondog and his brother Pressa, okay, they grew up around Toronto's earliest and most notorious gangster rap group. Okay, they came from this very, very treacherous area called Jane and Finch, and there was a rap group slash, you might want to say, affiliated with the streets kind of outfit called the Smugglers, okay, and that's who they came up around, and this is really where they kind of got a lot of their early influences as far as making some music out of these street situations, okay. And my guy Brandon has a backstory.
Yeah, no, this is my dog too. This is one of the older niggas.
Yeah, what's up, brother? Smugglers.
You've been rapping on the block from a long time back.
Way back.
Smugglers,
you know what I mean?
They made music videos. If you go reach the Smugglers, they have like Pressa and shit in a music video when he's like probably like 4 years old.
4 years old, you already know.
The Smugglers are a legendary hip-hop duo from Jane and Finch who helped pioneer street rap in Canada during the late 90s and early 2000s. The group consists of Sticky Green and his cousin who we are currently speaking to named Benny Black.
One out for the Smugglers, man. Shout out to Sticky Green, you know what I mean? Press Machine, you already know.
This will put me in my first music video.
First music video when they riding bikes.
What's that song called?
4/5 Dumping.
4/5 Dumping.
Guess who's back with that 4/5 Dumping?
Guess who's coming with that 4/5 dumping? Drunk as a
Like, how you got the kids out here talking about 4/5 dumping? That's what's going on, okay? They out here stealing the tire off your whip and they got the 4/5 dumping, okay? This is what my man's come up around, all right? And a lot of these early legendary moments were captured on video, okay? This is viral. This is Pressa basically like with the Smugglers in Toronto. Now, I'm pretty sure that's Boondog on this bike, on a little mini moto bike, okay? They got Boondog. They got baby Pressa and baby Boondog out on the block. Look at him. He can't even reach them handlebars, okay? This kid was destined for street greatness, right? Even with the Smugglers out there. I ain't gonna lie, I was playing Pokemon, Digimon, Pressa out here with the Smugglers. Bruh. He out here doing Smugglers Run, I was out here playing Pokemon Yellow. But actually, the Smugglers really ain't to be trifled with, okay? This was a very notorious street crew, and they would actually make Canadian national news all the way back in 2001, okay? They was getting on everybody's radar, perhaps for, you know what I'm saying, for different type of reasons.
Their names are Spain, from one of the toughest neighborhoods in all of Canada. Together, they call themselves the Smugglers. Their songs, they say, are about the lives they live. Lives filled with violence and death. Their big hope is to rap their way out before it all catches up with them. Others, though, say the two are only helping to glamorize a hardcore gangster lifestyle. Judge for yourself. Here's Mark Morrison now with Street Rappers.
All right, recording full force.
Y'all ain't no gangsters, y'all niggas is lies. Every time I come inside, I gotta see my mama cry. Cause think I'm gonna die or get locked up. All I'm hearing on the streets is fuck.
This is the story of two young rappers growing up in
Like, this hard, especially for 2001. Like, that shit hard.
Toronto's Jane and Finch neighborhood. It's Canada's largest public housing community.
A
13-year-old boy was shot in the head.
Opened fire on the deceased.
Shot and killed in her father's car.
The incident happened outside a convenience store on the Jane Finch
Gunfire ripped through Driftwood Avenue.
This is a place so notorious for street violence, the newspapers call it the gun crime capital of Canada. Some who live here call it the jungle. They believe there's only 3 ways to get out: school, sports, and rap music.
So this the biggest, most notorious, most crazy, most out of control public housing project in the whole of Toronto. Okay, it's a problem, right? It's actually a problem. So one of the group's members, Sticky Green, okay, he actually got shot 14 times. Now he's lucky to even be living to tell this tale. Listen to this.
They see in the bullet holes are called war wounds. They give gangster rappers credibility with their fans.
Hello, boys and girls.
Sapping out a motherfucking strip joint, you know what I'm saying? Going through life.
You were discretion advised.
Show your war wolves, show your tattoos. So what you say, whether it be with a play, who the hustlers, who the jugglers.
Stick Up has already been shot 14 times.
Show your tattoos.
I'm gonna lie, getting shot 14 times, like, bro, you give him 50 Cent a run for his money. Like, this really, you know what I'm saying? This didn't get the attention that it really deserved at the time, if I'm completely honest with you, okay? But basically, these guys were just notorious, okay? And even back then, okay, that area that Pressa was growing up in, it was a distinctively violent environment. There was a lot of bad, like, nasty stuff going on here, okay? And the smugglers themselves, they would talk in this little mini TV documentary about basically they got to be ready to die at any moment when they're coming out of this spot.
Even death becomes glory in the rap scene. The Smugglers album is dedicated to all of their dead friends. They've recently lost 5 to street violence.
Everybody has their time to go, so you gotta look at it like that too. You know, so when it's your time to go, you just go. There's no running away from it.
I ain't saying I ain't never gonna get shot again. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's life, man. Whatever happens, happens, and happens for a reason. God's watching me, and all my dead homies are watching me, man.
You know, we're here for a reason, you know? No man can kill you. You know, you might think a man can kill you because a man could put a bullet to you or stab you with a knife, hit you with a car, but no man can kill you, you know? So you just gotta watch your back. You gotta watch, you know? You gotta watch how you walk on the streets.
Currently prohibited in Canada. This is an Intertech 9mm, which is manufactured in the United States, smuggled illegally into Canada. We're seeing a trend in these coming back, shotgun, sawed-off shotgun, which basically cuts you in half.
I'm not gonna lie, okay? I know it's not competition, it's not the trap and drill Olympics, but like, I feel like Canada, like, there's always this, oh, is it as tough as the US? Is it as tough as the US? But bro, you don't be seeing this stuff in the UK. That's all I know, bro. Ain't no AK, bro. We ain't seeing this. This is bro, you going full loadout, okay? The UK man them, bro, we ain't touching this type of artillery, okay? So don't sleep on Canada and the situations that be going on over there in Toronto, man. It is actually crazy, okay? But just like today, there was always big rivalries within the area and within basically, you know, even this block, the sets in Jane and Finch, there's always rivalry, okay? And obviously, like there's often the case, I mean, it's the case in the Youngboy Baton Rouge situation, you know what I'm saying? It's North versus South, man. There's always divides between North and South, and there's, you know, I've talked about it in previous videos, up, top, down, bottom, however you want to call it, bro, but it's always problems when it comes to the guys up North and the guys down South.
Police believe much of the youth violence in these streets is linked to a favorite rap music theme, gang rivalry. In Jane and Finch, it's the north side against the south side. Stick Up does a lot of rapping about the ongoing street war over drugs and turf, but he denies any gang involvement. He says his 14 bullet holes were just a case of wrong place, wrong time in a bad neighborhood.
Wrong place, wrong time, bad neighborhood, you got shot 14 times. He's saying it ain't got nothing to do with none of the North versus South, the wars go, it's nothing to do with that. And okay, I'm gonna take his word at it. Okay, I'm gonna take his word at it. Now, at a certain point, okay, the warring sides of Jane and Finch even tried to come together and call a truce. However, unfortunately, this did end in just basically, I don't know how to say it, bare gunshot.
A scene few outsiders have witnessed. A neighborhood rap concert featuring the Smugglers. The event was billed a truce. It was supposed to bring the two warring sides of Jane and Finch, the North and the South, together under one roof for one night. Speng says he believed rap had the power to overcome rivalries.
Jane and Finch is known not to get along with each other and stuff like that. Certain parts in Jane and Finch, and we had the whole of Jane and Finch up top, down lane, everything, up on stage at one night, ready to be like this. Because when I turned around and I seen everybody, I was like, yeah, shoot. And I was surprised to see certain man with certain man standing up beside each other. So the first thing I said, yeah, Jane and Finch, we're gonna do this, man, we're gonna do this, you know? It's gonna happen now.
While Stick Up was on stage, someone was preparing to use the event to settle the score. As the concert came to a close and people started to leave, a familiar sound rang out.
Late last night, gunmen rushed the crowded warehouse and opened fire. 2 men were shot dead.
One man died on the dance floor. The other died as his friends tried to rush him to the hospital. He was Junior D, a local rapper and a close friend of the Smugglers. Police interviewed Stick Up and others who performed that night, but got no answers.
We've conducted over 220 interviews with limited results. We feel that some of these people that are holding back at this time are the ones that are holding the vital information that could put all this together.
We as a community need to come together when these census acts happen and pull together as a community to solve it and try to stop it.
A police interrogation did a lot to boost Tickup's gangster rapper profile, but he says he doesn't know anything about the shooting. And he says, why should he help the cops anyway?
Say, man, a bunch of killers are out there right now, you know what I'm saying? Ain't even about Unity. I see more people, you know? Before Unity drop out, I seen a lot of people drop out, and they ain't find none of their killers, you know what I'm saying?
So, look, it's a treacherous place, okay? Now, as the years will go by, okay, that documentary that we were just looking at, that was aired in 2001, but as the years will go by, there will be more violence, you know, more notorious incidents, and one of the most notorious and highly publicized murders that took place kind of around this whole situation was in 2007, and that would be the murder of a young man called Jordan Manners. I ain't gonna lie, this is no disrespect, but this type of thing you used to see in the United States. So this was a very serious incident, okay, and this unfortunately was, you know, just a very, very sad situation that went down at school. Now, the prosecutors, when this actually ended up, you know, going to the legal kind of, you know, the legal process, the prosecutors would argue that Jordan Manners was robbed and killed by his own friends, while the defense argued that it was just an accident, and ultimately how that works out, but that is how the justice system can go sometimes. And Jordan Manners' death would basically change the whole of Toronto, and you know, it would lead to changes in the way that they deal with safety in schools and firearms and things like that. So this is reporting from the Toronto Star. It says Jordan Manners' shooting death led to school safety changes. It says it was a crime that changed a school board, and it brought armed police to halls and security cameras to walls. They'd be spitting bars, as well as more support staff to help struggling students. And you know, this would basically break down the story and just how you know, how the whole area and just how the whole way that they dealt with these things. Maybe this wasn't something that was on the radar of the Canadian school system at the time, but later, you know, this actually became something that they had to take this seriously. They had to say, look, there are guns in these schools. It's actually that real out here in Canada. There are guns in these schools. Kids are getting killed inside the school, and we have to go about this all different. We need armed police, and it's crazy because that's some shit you never see in the UK. That's some normal day-to-day stuff in America. I'm not going to the United States. That's normal stuff. Now, in the aftermath of this, obviously, this had a big effect on the local community, and essentially, our guys that we just spoke about, the Smugglers. Okay, I don't want to play. I don't know how deep in the copyright system these guys are at this point, but you know, Sticky Green, the Smugglers, all right, they released a track in his memory called "The Kids." It was a Jordan Manners tribute to the kids of Toronto dealing with these situations, man. And it just goes to show you, like, even the tough guys and the gangsters in the community, they ain't happy about some of this stuff and the way that it went down. Now, unfortunately, this indeed, unsurprisingly, made the block very hot. And also in 2007, after the murder of Jordan Manners, the Driftwood Crips were targeted in a massive RICO-style operation. It says sweeping raids target the Driftwood Crips. 6 Toronto airport workers are among dozens who were arrested. Okay, they had the airport workers going crazy. They had the packs landing, all types of stuff. It said Toronto has one less street gang terrorizing its streets. The city's police chief would boast Wednesday after a series of pre-dawn raids in the city and surrounding area. Netted about 60. Oh, netted. I thought it was called, the area is called netted about. Netted about 60 suspects, including airport workers. The individuals who we allege to be members of that gang are now in custody, and the neighborhood is safe from their criminal enterprise, the Toronto chief of police, Bill Blair, said. Bill Blair, that is a tongue twister of a name. Bill Blair said at a news conference Wednesday, the Driftwood Crips, modeled after the notorious street gang born in LA, California, were targeted in the investigation. They estimate that the Driftwood Crips are only one of about 20 or 25 street gangs currently operating in Toronto, and they were smuggling drugs through the airports. A steady stream of suspects were hauled into Toronto police divisions after heavily armed ETF teams and agents raided homes across the Greater Toronto Area, or GTA. They was living GTA for real by the sounds of it, okay? As far north as Barrie and west in the Niagara region. Or Niagara region. The bulk of the raids took place in Toronto's Jane and Finch neighborhood. 6 workers from the Pearson International Airport were taken in. And While those arrested represent only a small number of the 100,000 airport employees, apparently this put a significant dent in the flow of contraband through Canada's busiest airport that packs would land in. Davis said those arrested worked in the cargo area or ramp system or associates of the gang, bringing dope through the airport. Police said they seized an estimated $1 million worth of drugs, 30 kilos of coke, 9 kilos of hash oil, not the hash oil, man, no, that broke my heart, and several kilos of marijuana, man. Oh, it's peak. Blair said he believes that the raids will result in more witnesses coming forward to police about crimes committed in their neighborhoods, lifting the so-called cone of silence encountered in some crimes. Some of these individuals have been quite brazen in their activity. I think they've been emboldened by the silence of intimidation that we often hear about in these neighborhoods. But I'm hoping today they'll feel a little less bold and a little less brazen. I hope they realize that the people in the communities that they've terrorized are fed up and they've had enough and are going to work with police. They really cracked down and got $1 million worth. And it even says here, recent brazen shootings, last month's shooting death of Jordan Manners inside the high school in the neighborhood added to pressure to crack down on violence in the city. So they was taking that seriously. They said, hey, this is all going to have to stop. Now, unfortunately, this always happens when the big dogs in the neighborhood, the OGs, all the guidance is gone. Time for the young G's, time for the YNs to take over, man. And that's what ended up happening. And who was the next generation to take over the streets and the microphones and the blocks and the whatever else of Jane and Finch? It was this little known crew called YBK, the Young Buck Killers, all right? They said, this YBK TV, okay? There's YBK TV. This is the new gen who took over the streets. And this is when we start hearing about my guy Pressa, my guy Bundog, you know what I'm saying? These guys getting wrapped up in this next level street business, all right? Look at this.
Chains on deck, idiot. In the dot. Oh, okay. You done know, eh? Look at the diamonds. Look how they lay down, you idiot. Real thing, me I did.
YBK fucking TV, bro.
Let me fall off.
I ain't gonna lie, the YBK block looks lit. I don't know if I'd get invited to the YBK cookout, but it looked like a hell of a good time back then, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to shout out to Prestige Raz, man. They're saying Bundog in there. I don't know.
Happy birthday, my nigga. My block's hot.
Listen, I ain't trying to hot up anyone's. I'm just saying these are the comments on the public video. That's all I'm saying. This is what they saying, okay? They're saying there's some icy boy. I don't know. I could never confirm. You know, I could never confirm or deny. They say they just, they say that looks like young Pressa. I don't know. Right, Pressa. I don't know if I'm about to get one of those angry phone calls. But hey, look, this is history right here. Okay, this is history. Okay, sorry guys if I hotting up your spot. But anyway, okay. Unfortunately, with all of this YBK business going on in the streets, them big bezels and all of that stuff, that came with a few problems. It came with a few evil eyes, all right? And by 2011, with both feet firmly in these streets, that's when our boy Pressa ends up getting arrested on drug and gun charges, man. It's serious.
2011, the end of 2011, I was currently incarcerated as a YO. I think I just turned 15. The police raided my house for like 2 guns and like a bunch of cocaine and stuff and ecstasies and some money and shit, you know? And then after, and it plead into all that shit in my mom's house. And because I was like selling shit through my mom's house and stuff. Like I was selling like food and stuff. Like I was selling crack through my mom's house and stuff. And I could talk about it because I got convicted for it, you know? So, and then that was the one mistake I did wrong, selling stuff through my mom's house. That's a mistake where shit went rock bottom.
So look, kids, do not, if you're gonna shop, don't do it from your mama's house. That shit's crazy. That's actually insane that you would go about it that way. But hey, definitely a lesson learned, right? A lesson learned is a lesson earned. Now, by the end of 2011, okay, December of 2011, that's when the Canadian authorities came crashing down on the Young Buck Killers. It wasn't just Pressa catching a little case Rooney over here, okay? It was a whole bunch of problems for the Young Buck Killers. It was hot. The block was very hot, right? Look at this. Look at this firepower. I ain't gonna lie, this mash looking a bit rusty, but this one looking clean. Now, this was Project Marvel. This was a notorious raid, crackdown, whatever you want to call it. Okay, Project Marvel. They really assembled the comic book heroes to try and take these guys out. It was that serious.
Well, she was pulled out of bed in the middle of the night. A 94-year-old great-grandmother among those arrested in a series of police raids.
Jeff Semple has been following Project Marvel and joins us now from 23 Division, where earlier today police gave a show and tell of weapons seized. Jeff.
Well, that's right, Dwight. And right now, police are conducting forensic testing on many of those weapons seized in yesterday's raids, hoping to see whether they can connect them to any unsolved shootings or even murders. And they also released the list of names of the people who were arrested yesterday, and at least one of them might surprise you. Handguns, automatic rifles, and more than $100,000 in cash. Items seized during yesterday's cross-country crackdown.
They was getting to the bag. I mean, they had there was a whole armory in there. They had cash, big stacks, man. What the hell, bro? Y'all need to... You did all that from your mum's house too, bro. Come on.
Dollars in cash. Items seized during yesterday's cross-country crackdown.
We're confident we made a dent in some of the organized crime that's been plaguing some of these communities.
Police arrested more than 60 people in the raids, but among the list of alleged gang members was one 94-year-old great-grandmother. Maud Mirage doesn't hear very well, but she says she certainly heard police kick in her bedroom door yesterday morning, a police rifle pointed at her head.
I was extremely shocked. I was like, my heart just dropped.
Natalie Brown says she got a call that her great-grandmother was in jail. She says police kept her there for nearly 12 hours without food or her medication before finally letting her go.
Having lived for 94 years, she hasn't experienced nothing like this before, so it's pretty terrible.
Police say they were actually looking for Mirage's grandson, a 21-year-old alleged gang member who's now behind bars facing weapons charges.
From a community perspective, I think that everyone is safer.
But Kemi Olenloyo isn't so sure.
We have seen these things developing.
The community activist says she knows many of those arrested, some as young as 14, facing charges that include attempted murder.
So it was serious, all right? And the paperwork came out, okay? It was very serious. And look, I'll just keep it real. I ain't trying to make it too hot for nobody, but like, Pressa and his brother all up in here, okay? Their names are known, they're publicly known, all right? Please don't come at me. I'm not doxing nobody, okay? It is known what it is, okay? So let me just quickly find a little segment, all right? It's sad, man, because you know how this went down? You know how this went down? Confidential informants, snitches. Of course there were snitches, right? This says various confidential informants implicated Kermar Gardner in the activities of a street gang known as YBK, the Young Buck Killers, right? Hey, it was... Got told on, man. Got told on various confidential informants. Wasn't just one, man. Okay, YBK, this is the third and fifth confidential informants. Both asserted that Kermar Gardner was the boss or leader of YBK. YBK was running the show and that his younger brother, Quinton, was second in charge. Apologies. Okay, I'm not trying to hot up the spot. You know what I'm saying? Look, I ain't the police. It's on Google. He only got told on. But that's the guy, Pressa. All right, that's the guy. He in the paperwork. It's real. It was real. And they was getting snitched on by numerous people. He was second in charge. He was next in line. They both described conflict between various neighborhoods and groups, which was corroborated to some extent by the eight confidential informants, all right? The fifth confidential informant identified members and implicated them in various incidents, including shootings, which was corroborated by some extent by the first, sixth, and eighth confidential informants. Like, you guys were cooked, all right? They had all the informants. They had 8 informants, bro. They probably had more informants than gang members, bro. It's actually crazy, okay? And then this section as well, this tells you how real it was, okay? And they linked guns found in their homes to numerous different shootings, some of which were very serious shootings and attempted murders, right? It says, fourth and last, the police received and seized 2 handguns from a shed in the backyard of Kermar Gardner's mother's residence on the evening of May the 14th, 2011. Police surveillance officers had observed both Kermar Gardner and Quinton Gardner exiting the residence and going into the backyard earlier that same day. On 2 occasions, when Quinton Gardner emerged from the backyard, there was a suspicious bulge in his waistband. I could make a little sus joke here, but you know what I'm saying, we ain't on the Cremo vibes. Cremo had that already, you know what I'm saying, under wraps. But there was a suspicious bulge in his waistband, okay? You know what I'm saying? They had to investigate. But forensic ballistics tested of the 2 firearms linked one or both of these guns to 4 of the shooting incidents as followed: the February 9th, 2011 shooting of Derek Palmer, the May 10th shooting of Andrew Nugent, the May 11th shooting of cars in a public parking lot, and the May 12th shooting of various houses in the bottom neighborhood. They were sliding, allegedly, according to as many as 8 snitches. Okay. It was stressed the last of these 4 incidents occurred shortly after the 2 primary offenses. Both of the guns seized from the property were used. They were hot guns, right? You know when K-Trap, if you know this on K-Trap, warm. Feds want to search for hammers. I know that they hope they're warm. These hammers were warm. And the gun was used in the May 10th shooting of Goulbourne and Thomas, seized from London. Seized in London, was also used. In other words, the perpetrators of the May 12th shooting had possession of all 3 guns used in 5 of the 9 incidents. It was a problem. Okay, it was a serious problem. Now, this all went down, okay? Everything was messed up. Everything, there's a whole bunch of prison time being served, basically, okay? But basically, Pressa, having finished the prison sentence for his gun charges, okay, he was out and he ended up doing the race. And ultimately, he ended up beating this particular case in court.
In the same situation.
No, it was an attempt murder.
Oh, is it? Okay, but still, attempt murder is still a lot of time.
Yeah, but like, it was... No, I knew I was innocent though, right? So I kind of wasn't stressing out because I was like, no, man, like, fuck all this shit, bro.
Right, but you were still on the run, meaning that you were still...
Yeah, I knew I had to go in jail, though. I knew I had to go back to jail, and I was on the run for like 14 months or something. I was 17 at this time, and I was on the run and stuff. They caught me halfway across the other end of the country. And then, like, I was at 17, I was just jump on the Greyhound and got the fuck out of there, you know?
How did you feel when they dropped the charges?
Yeah, it was good, man. I walked out the courthouse with a walk, you know? Like, I was like, you know what I mean? I wanted something bigger for myself anyways, you know? I always wanted to be a star. I grew up a star because, like, we'll do music videos in the neighborhood as well, right? And
so we seen that, right? We knew he grew up a star. He was on the bikes. He was with the Smugglers. He was like, bruh, this kid was something special in the neighborhood, and he was lucky to beat that. But unfortunately, this wasn't the end of the trouble for the YBK. Obviously, Pressa's brother ended up going down, getting some time, you know, dealing with that whole situation for a minute. But what ended up happening is there was a June 2015 double murder, okay, related to the YBK crew. And this is something that Six Tails touched on his channel. So the YBK was still getting busy, allegedly, as time went on.
We're continuing to follow breaking news from the Queen and Dovercourt area. For the very latest, we go live to the scene, and CP24's Arda Zakarian, who has new details for us. Arda.
That's right. Toronto Paramedic Services confirms to us now that 2 people are pronounced dead on the scene here.
Well, Ken, the double shooting happened here around 7 o'clock in the morning at this trendy new condo building near Queen and Dovercourt. As you mentioned, police have now released the names of the victims. The victims were both 26 years old and from Toronto. Their names are Abduel Abdullahi and Mohammed Abduel Diri. Police say they were shot to death on the...
Sunday, June 28th, 2015. Known Dixon Bloods, Mohammed Diri aka Cam and Abdueli Abdullahi aka Bevy were executed after a 3-day-long party at a downtown Toronto condo. Cam was executed by the 2 gunmen in the kitchen. Then one of the gunmen immediately went into the bedroom and shot Bevy as he slept. 2 other men and 3 women were at the apartment before the shootings. The men had apparently just left the apartment and were in the corridor outside at the time of the shootings, while the women were still in the apartment but had gone out on the balcony to smoke. After the shooting, one of the men took Cam's chain off his neck and his $250,000 Rolex watch. They then left the scene. With no cooperating witnesses and a lack of evidence, investigators assumed this would lead to a cold case. However,
so what's even more crazy, okay, is time went on. Now, people basically were hearing the police were investigating. They was trying to find out who was responsible. And then this is a very notorious and legendary clip that's gone around in the Toronto streets for many years now, okay? The suspects were caught on camera, allegedly discussing the murder and recreating it on camera, basically, like cracking jokes and just like, hey, this is how we did it, man. This is what went down. That's what they said. Like, they dapping it up like, yeah, we did that shit, man. Hey, this is how we did it. Bruh. This the type of jokes you cracking when you couple killers with bodies fresh off the bodies. Like, you reenacting that shit. Bruh. Bruh, you reacting the fool, bro. Like, you a demon. Yo. What type of street stories are these you telling, bro? Chill. Bruh. It's twisted, man. It's twisted. But hey, this is how the streets go, man. This is how the streets go. That's what they're saying. And it says Driftwood legend Wassi reenacting a shooting now. One of the suspects would turn themselves in, but Wassi, aka Kawasi Scheme Peters, man, he ended up getting killed in a shootout with the police. And this was a very tragic turn of events. And he was very much missed and mourned by his friends, the likes of Pressa and his brother. And this is where the kind of Was Gang memory, you know, that in memory of Wassi or Kwasi.
TV's Austin Delaney joining us with a dramatic dash cam video released today, Austin.
Well, it is 3 in the morning in the crowded entertainment district. The bars are getting out, and Toronto police are poised to arrest a double murder suspect. What they are not counting on is that the suspect will go down firing his gun in a wild shootout. Dashcam video after the waiting police takedown team has been given the go-ahead to move in on the target, who is now in his car. What happens next happens very quickly. Bicycle police join the takedown. Gunfire and lots of it. Police can be seen scrambling for cover, and suddenly the suspect bolts from the car, trips, landing in front of the police cruiser. The image is blurred to protect the identity of undercover officers. 21-year-old Kwasi Scheme Peters dies from a single gunshot wound to the chest. In the light of day, the evidence of the gun battle is clear. 31 shots fired in seconds, 7 from Scheme Peters inside the car at police, the rest from police at their suspect. Wanted on 2 first-degree murder charges after 2 men were killed inside this West End condo. The inquest heard that detectives had information that their murder suspect would be at the Truce nightclub in the entertainment district, but should be considered armed and dangerous.
So rest in peace to Wassi, man, because that was just a crazy incident. You know, he apparently was a little bit of a problem out there. So at the end of the day, I can't condone those activities. But it is a sad situation. It probably would have been better if he would have been able to at least have his day in court. I feel like that's the best, that's the most positive way I can spin it, because that chaos shit, wild. But anyway, okay, Pressa and his boys, everybody from Northside, Jane and Finch, man, they would be devastated by the loss of Wassi. They would create Was Gang in his honor. And, you know, this is a track by Pressa, GD, FB, and Robin Banks. Was Gang that really is just kind of, you know, putting on, showing love to their fallen brother, man. Now, from here, Pressa keeps going up with the music, and this is where the man, the myth, the legend, okay, he really is just taking them steps forward. He getting out of the streets, he moving forward from these life or death situations that he's in, and he really going up with the music, man. I remember this one, Denihana. Demiana. This one was hard, all right? This one was just different with the kind of auto-tune kind of, bro, like he was different. The sound is just so different, okay? He came up, he doing his thing, doing millions of views, all right? He low-key, he's slick with it. You're not realizing he talking about some real drilling, nasty, like street shit. He drops this song, which was an absolute banger for the culture, okay? Canada Goose with Tory Lanez. This one, Too Hard. I love that one line where he's like, back to school shopping, I just bought a ruler. I'm a shooter. This one's hard, man. This one's hard. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to get, you know, copyright, so I can't play the song, but you're going to have to go listen to that. But this one's legendary. It's got 30 million views. And then this is where the guy Pressa, this is where he went to the next level, man. He locked in with the GOAT, right? He's still the GOAT. Yes. Drizzy Drake. Okay. Drake was facing criticism for even bringing Pressa on tour with his wild street background. But this just goes to show you, man, Drake really be putting people on. He be showing love. He be actually doing a lot for people, okay? But tragically, despite all the success that Pressa has had over the years in the rap game, death and jail has basically just become, you know, a normal part of life in the Toronto drill scene, man. And basically, Brandon Buckingham, shout out to my guy, man. I hope he's getting well. Get well soon, Brandon. You know, I've been sending him a lot of positive, just positive encouragement, because I know he's been going through a lot. But he did a great job on breaking down exactly what happened to the rest of the Was Gang and just how much sad shit has really gone down off the back of the Toronto drill scene, man. It's actually heartbreaking.
Was he a street legend in Toronto? You know what I mean? Rest in peace. Yeah. For those that don't know, do you want to give us a little rundown of, you know, who he was and what he stood for?
Houdini's our bro. That's our blood bro. He's from the same trench right here. We grew up with him. We used to do a lot of shit together. Bad shit, good shit, whatever you could think of.
Much like his frequent collaborator Robin Banks, Houdini was on his way to blowing up when tragedy struck. He had hit songs like Late Night and Myself that were racking up millions of views, but on May 26, 2020, he was gunned down around 4 p.m. in downtown Toronto. The news devastated the music industry, and to make matters worse, during his memorial vigil, 2 men hopped out of a dark-colored sedan and opened fire on the crowd. Jane and Finch rappers GD and Burna Bands, who were racking up millions of views in their own right, shot back and ended up getting arrested and placed in prison where they remain today. resulting in Up Top taking 2 more massive hits just a week after losing Houdini. And it would only be 6 months before tragedy would strike again.
Fuck, there's too many raps. YS.
Driftwood rapper YS dropped songs like John Wick and Swag Mine, but not long after was killed in an unsolved murder in Surrey at only 18 years old. There was no suspects or witnesses in his death. His biggest hit was the song My Team with Burna Bands and the Tall Up Twins, one of which we get to hear from next.
Next up,
Shout out my dog.
Yeah, shout out
Young
Tall Up
niggas.
too.
You know we're out here.
This guy's a real guy right here, a real genuine nigga, you know?
Give him the rundown for those of my fans, you know.
Tall Up Twin, they call me Tall Up Twin, Northside Gene resident, young boy, you know what I'm saying? Landon my twin bro, Landon Houdini, Landon YS. Been around, man. Ask the city, they know what's up. Shout out the Feathers, you're far away.
I mean, he's a twin and shit, you know? He has a twin bro. His twin bro passed away along with the crow, you know?
Oh man, rest in peace.
Before his twin brother passed away, they both performed as a duo under the stage name Tall Up Twins. They have hit songs like No Favors and 456, but their biggest hit is the previously mentioned song My Team with YS and Burna Bands. In 2018, the Tall Up Twin I speak to in this video robbed a marijuana growth facility with rappers FB and Burna Bands, tying up the owners and pistol whipping them before ultimately getting caught by police and serving 33 months in jail. While he was incarcerated, his brother was murdered in a shootout inside an Airbnb that left 2 other people dead. It is rumored that he was attacked and he killed both his shooters before succumbing to his injuries, but to this day it is still not clear what exactly happened. The remaining twin, who was released from jail in 2021, dropped the Z from his stage name and now raps solo under the name Tall Up Twin. Check out his new single Ooters.
So, a lot of tragedy, man. You know, with Houdini, Tall Up Twin. There's so many people losing their lives, man, and just going out in the worst ways. And, you know, thankfully, we are still seeing love being shown to, you know, those who were left behind, man. Just last year, Pressa and YG were actually seen at Houdini's kids' birthday party, man, and people saying Houdini really got some real brothers, man, real people supporting him. I don't think I can play the sound because there's gonna be a song playing, but you know, Pressa and Big Tree 5, YG, another legendary Toronto rapper, man. You know, they really be showing love and doing positive stuff, man. People saying never seen Tree 5 smile like that. It's wholesome. Saying this is the type of content the city wants from its rappers. No one cares about drills anymore. Saying it's sad. R.I.P. Houdini, man. It's very, very sad. Now, it's time to talk about the elephant in the room. Okay? The elephant in the room. Top 5. It's time to talk about top 5, okay? This wouldn't be a Toronto video if we didn't talk about top 5, but I'm going to touch on some stuff that maybe you didn't know about, so you don't heard it all before, you know, the stabbing in the neck, this in the up, spinning, the alleged 3 bodies, beating the case, Drake paying for the lawyer, all of that good stuff, all right? But basically, while Pressa's relationship with top 5 has fallen apart, okay, it's very, very important to just look at maybe some of the other, you know what I'm saying, some of the other rivalries that have gone on in the streets of Toronto that are lesser known. I don't want to just recap all the same stuff that you've heard time and time again before, okay? But there have been much more significant gang wars in Toronto, okay? We've seen this beef. It's kind of gotten out of control, okay? Pressa and Top 5, they've fallen out. They're not seeing eye to eye, and everybody's saying this entire BFR 3L GGG beef is dumb. It makes no sense, and you can tell Pressa is actually hurt behind what happened. How the hell did it get to this? People are saying, bruh, like, everybody's sad. Everybody's sad. Like, the person, like, people are saying that somebody snaked their friends. It's like, here I am thinking Pressa's a snake, YG's a snake, but Pressa says on the song that he snaked all of his friends. Now I wonder who's going to carry him. The person I think he's talking about is Top 5. Then he says, long live Jason. What the hell? You're telling me you couldn't phone anyone on that side to say what you're doing? GGG, militia. You couldn't tell me you didn't do the same? Why couldn't you get on the phone and squash this? Okay, they're saying the nerds are at it, investigating, stay out of it. People saying blood's been spilled in this beef. Now look, okay. It's very sad to see Top 5 and Pressa not seeing eye to eye. Like, Pressa and Boondog have put out little tracks. They're going to, they're playing this throwback video of Top 5 dancing around in a bra. Like, it's very unfortunate, okay? It's very unfortunate. But basically, Top 5 got other beasts. This is what I want to remind people, okay? There's other beasts that Top 5 and his crew and the GGGs be having with people, okay? And their rivalry with Pressa's crew, BFR, 3L, all of that stuff, you know, is actually minor. In actuality, okay, the beef between Top 5's crew and another crew is actually much more fierce than the situation going on with Pressa. Now, basically, okay, you got to know about this guy, all right? There's a bigger beef with Shots Up Mafia, who's another very well-known crew. Shots Up, you see Drake be tapped in with some of these Shots Up guys, okay? You do your homework on them, all right? Or I'm going to do a little bit of homework for you guys, and you're going to have to go and finish your homework assignment. But basically, okay, they've been having a much more fierce and vicious beef with the GGGs and Jungle and all of them guys from where Top 5's from, okay? And basically, this guy, M-Loke, was allegedly the big Shots Up, okay? This guy was a problem, okay? This guy was allegedly causing a lot of problems for the OGs The top 5 be around, okay? This is M-Loke from Shots Up. He's doing live for the 2010 murder of Detroit from Neptune, where he backdoored Detroit with 2 other Neptune members over a $700 debt, which they later tried to pin the murder on Jungle. Imagine actually, like, getting somebody killed and then trying to pin the murder on someone else. Like, this is crazy, okay? And basically, like, this basically breaks down the situation. There's a phone call between people. It says, yo, don't tell no one. 3 minutes later, they said, yeah, you the feds at this door. You the feds is at his door. Reference to the police being at someone's door. A police officer was canvassing Neptune looking for witnesses. This is what they saying. We out, meaning we leave, they gone. Send out the word, jungle dudes are going off. Yeah. So they trying to frame, they look like, in terms of the last exchange, we noted there was evidence that persons from a neighboring area known as Jungle were engaged in a dispute with people from Neptune. Jungle refers to the neighborhood of Lawrence Avenue. And basically it says, the meaning of the message is to put out the word that the killing of Tyrone was done by people from the jungle as a way as attempting to blame the killing on that group. This is getting deep. People saying Shots Up are really the slimiest dudes in Toronto. $233 each after they backdoored their own homie. That's slimy for $700. 2010 rent was $7 bills. $1 was $1 Canadian too. All right. 2010 minimum wage, one McDonald's paycheck, full-time hours would have been $8.20. That is actually, backdoor amount over $700 is crazy. Keep this bum in jail for life. Okay. It's crazy. And what a life getting head tapped than doing a life bit. This is actually crazy. Now, this war would continue. And almost a decade later, this is actually a crazy little bit of lore that I wanted to just pop out with, okay? Almost a decade later, okay, M-Loke's cousin, who actually went by the rap name Murder, would end up being shot and killed by Flipper from the GGGs, and he ultimately received a life sentence for this. So, like, all of this stuff about Flipper from the GGGs, got multiple bodies, got all these hats to fight in 2 murder cases. They got my bro on 2 cases. Like, that's one of the cases, okay? And this basically says the Crown Star witness is pointing the finger directly at her friend, Saeed Mohayedin Flipper, as the man who jumped out of her car and shot Jerome Bell as he and a friend walked in a junction triangle laneway mid-afternoon 3 years ago. And she's also denying the defense suggestion that the reason she's testifying against him is to save her own skin. Instead, she says in court to do the right thing. Flipper has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder at a trial that began last week. The prosecution case hinges on the credibility of the 34-year-old witness who became friends with him. His nickname is Postman. Over social media, the months leading up to the killing, she testified that he asked her to pick him up at his mom's place in the same housing complex. She retrieved him there before in prior weeks. At 3:17 p.m. at around the time Bell and his friend left the unit to take out the garbage, the witness was arriving in her white Mercedes to pick up Flipper. All right. Surveillance video played in court showed her vehicle pulling up and a male figure, the Crown says, is him climbing inside. The witness says that he changed his black puffer jacket for a white hoodie and asked her to pull over and park because he forgot something at home. The witness said that after he left, she remained inside her vehicle and heard the sound of gunshots and watched children fleeing. Children fleeing. This is not how you should be behaving. The surveillance footage taken from a Wheel-Trans bus camera also captured from a distance a male figure re-entering the Mercedes after the shooting. After he got back into her vehicle, he said, "Drive, drive, drive." His hands were shaking and he seemed angry, paranoid, and upset. He gave her directions to an address near Jane and Finch. On the way, told her to park her car and offered to pay for a rental. I believe it was him telling me to get rid of my vehicle. She told the court. She refused the offer. Just before dropping him off, the witness said that he said, "We need to get married soon, so you can't testify against me." It's nasty work, man. It's nasty work. Okay. It's unfortunate. All right. It is an unfortunate situation. But look, okay. Look. Toronto is a very treacherous place, man. You know, they be going through a whole lot of crazy stuff over there, right? It's very sad. It's very just like never-ending drama. And I feel like the thing that I really want to cap this video off by just saying is like, I feel like Toronto gets this whole lil bro thing put on it of like, oh, you know, they like America's little bro. They ain't really on stuff. Bro, they on stuff, bro. They on smoke. I'm more scared of going to Toronto than I am going to Los Angeles, Chicago. I probably would rather go Chicago than Toronto, realistically. Like, low-key. I'm not saying it's more dangerous, but I'm saying it's like there's more. I feel like it's more backdoory. It's more like smile in your face, stab you in the back. Dudes, we get backdoored over $700. This is what I'm trying to say to you. This is why I'm bringing this stuff up, because it's like this is a place that just like, it seems like it's all smiles and sunshine. Maybe not sunshine, but smiles and snow. But it really is a problem, man. So I say all of this to say, okay, our guy our guy Pressa, man, he really made it out. He really got it out the mud. Press Machine 2 is out. Go and support my guy Pressa, man. I rock with Pressa. I've rocked with him for a long time. I feel like he's doing things differently. I feel like he is somebody who's not really... He don't really get the industry support that he deserves. I feel like he got a thing going on where it's like people try and downplay his thing, but it's like, bro, he been in the trenches like that for real. He's actually very creative. He got a sound like nobody else. People be hating and making fun of his sound. His sound is fire. He be coming with a whole different type of melodic flow. He coming with a whole different cadence, okay? I rock with it. So shout out to Pressa. I hope he wasn't offended by this video, okay? He told me, look, he dropping. He said, we need to just like, you need to just turn up, tell the people something interesting, okay? And like, I don't know, if I crossed any boundaries, I hope that's not a problem. Okay, this ain't no paid promo. That's just somebody who I actually admire, who I rock with. I like his music. I was excited for the project to drop. And I said, yo, we need to let the people know Canada for real. Toronto is really real out there, man. So yeah, man, let me know what you think of the project. Let me know what you think of this video, man. The Young Buck Killas, bro, they was wilding out. So anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching this. And until next time, I'm out here, gang. Peace, more stories. I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow. No, I might do a couple stories, but I'm definitely doing a live stream tomorrow. I'll catch you there. Appreciate it, gang. I'm out.